Good morning. Hello, everyone. I'm Peter Hopkins with United Infrared, and today we're going to talk about pool and spa inspections. We're going to talk about some opportunities that are available for you, some things you might be wanting to consider for your business, and some exciting new stuff with AI and what you can do with it. So let's go ahead and pull up my screen and we are going to get this party started. So here we are. So poolandspainspectors.com is our training portal for home inspectors, basically contractors who are looking to take their pool inspections to the next level. So let's give you a couple little ideas and information on pools and why you should be seriously considering these types of inspections, even if you're in an area that may not have a lot of pools. Maybe you only come across a dozen a year. I think there's still reason for you to be paying attention today, and let's see what we got. So, so just to keep in mind, standard pool inspections going through equipment, safety features, fencing, stuff like that, pumps, heaters, are they working? A lot of guys will do these standard inspections. I have a different attitude. I have a lot of high-end clientele, and so I want to do a higher level of inspection. So we kind of call that an advanced pool and spa inspection. So kind of some criteria to know in the industry. There's an estimated 5 million pools in the ground in the United States. Yeah, that's only 3% of the homes, but, and yeah, 40% of those are in California and Florida. But what I can tell you is that if you're in any state other than California or Florida and you're going, why would I want to do this? Because if you're running across 2%, 3% of your home inspections have a pool, or 10%, that's money on the table. And so I want you to seriously think about that when it comes to your business. I'm based out of Southern California, and actually 26% of all my inspections in 2025 had a pool or spa. If I calculate over the last 4 years, it's like 23%. So let's just say a quarter of all my inspections have a pool. Yes, it makes sense for me to do these types of surveys. But even if it's only a smaller percentage, every time you have a pool and you say you don't do it, you're leaving money on the table. So just something to consider. Also, there are areas of the country where the inspection window is only like 3 to 6 months. That's still an opportunity because it's a very large investment for someone who has a pool on their property, to put that in. And if somebody's buying a house that has one, let's say it's winterized, um, they still want to know about it. And so I can tell you how you deal with that from a marketing perspective when you're in the off season and you're in a location, maybe there's snow and stuff. You can still do a general visual of the equipment, electrical panel, and the safety aspects, and you charge them the fee for this. But you agree that once the season is opened, that you will come back and do the rest of the testing, be it the running the equipment, the pumps, the heater, and all that. Keep in mind, from an inspection standpoint, most people have a 10-day window, so they can't renegotiate later. But if you can give them some information up front during that survey, even if the pool is shut down, it's going to be beneficial for them. And then by offering to come back when the season opens up, this is where it's on your time, your schedule. It's less than an hour completely to go through this. So, either you capture no fee or you capture the full fee up front, and then you come back on your schedule when you're available to do that survey. So you're going to find that these types of surveys, can add up to like 30% increase in your inspection fee. So something seriously to consider. Um, Most all associations have a standard of practice for the home inspection, including the pool and spa. And so most guys who just don't do them, they disclaim it. It's easy. It's not service that we offer. But I'm suggesting that if you get some training, that you can certainly go about this in a different way and capture some of that revenue. So whether you choose to follow that or not, that's up to you and your association. But ideally there are certain criteria that you must inspect as part of it. Typically not part of it would be some features we're going to talk about. So here's an example of a standards of practice. A pool and spa inspection shall include readily accessible systems and the components or a representative number of multiple similar components listed. There are exclusions, and this is where we talk about the real opportunity. This is why I want you to pay attention and see the opportunity that's coming ahead for you. Specifically, this standard talks about conducting chemical analysis of the water. Why would we want to do that? Well, the same reason that a buyer hires you to do a property inspection. They want to see, how has this house been treated? Has it been taken care of? Is there any problems with it? And then also one thing they always concern is there any leakage in this pool and spa? So those are things that are excluded. But my attitude is, why exclude something when you can capture that additional revenue? So keep in mind, like this standard, the inspector may at his or her discretion choose to add these services for an additional fee. Ta-da! That's the magic we're going to talk about today. So standards can be exceeded. Find what services you can offer and how much more you can get paid for it. In my area, I charge $500 for a pool and spa inspection that takes me less than an hour to do. So these are why you want to seriously consider that. Now, although my inspection fee is probably significantly higher than most areas in the country, just because I have a lot of high-end construction, it absolutely makes sense for me. So knowing the chemistry and water loss are common questions that people have, like why does the pool algae have algae in it? Why are there excess mineral deposits? Is my pool losing water? And a lot of the sellers just don't know how to disclose that. They think their pool guy knows what he's doing. Well, we're going to help you dispel that. So two tools that we talk about in advanced pool inspection, adds about 20 minutes to your inspection, is doing the water loss analysis. This device, the Leakalizer, can sense within a 10,000th of an inch of water loss in literally 20 minutes. It's also calculating evaporation rate. So yes, water will naturally lose in that pool over time, and depending on the humidity, the sun, the wind, all those will affect how much water loss. You program that into an app, and the app will calculate the evaporation rate for the day, and then it will subtract that based on the actual water loss. So once we set this device up, about 20-minute test, and it'll come back and tell you it. Now, my favorite tool is the Lamont Spin Touch. This is the same device that if you have a pool supply store out in your area, they will have this device set up and people can bring their pool water in. Well, that's not convenient on a home inspection. And actually, they're not that expensive, 14, 1500 bucks for one of these units. And it's literally a syringe of water in 60 seconds. We know the status of that pool. So that's what I'm going to focus on in the next slides, is really helping you understand, what does this Spin Touch do and how can you use current today's technology to help you decipher what it's actually doing. And then why not? We'll just go through a process for that. So here's an example. So this is what the screen looks like. And this is a commercial spa that had almost no chlorine in it. I know it because this is at one of my mountain properties associations that I tested the water on. And thankfully, during this process, they are now utilizing this tool themselves. They actually purchased one because they have to test the water on a commercial pool. It needs to be tested every day. And this is what the county uses when they test your pool to see if it's open for public. And so as we look through these results, we can see these. This is basically taking a picture and submitting it to an artificial intelligence program. So whether you use Gemini, Grok, ChatGPT, whatever. So we're using ChatGPT here. And all he did was submit this picture and says, hey, Chat, tell me what this means. Can you decipher these results? And so right away, it's telling you the results, but it also will tell you very detailed information on how to deal with that. And that's the key behind here. So you can see free chlorine, very low. And combined chlorine, no chloramine. So just so you know, CCl is dirty water. Why is this important? Because traditional pool guys pour some of that fennel red, that yellow dye, and they test the chlorine, they test the acid. But they don't actually, what they're actually testing is total chlorine, that TCl number. They're not testing free chlorine or combined chlorine. So this is important because I can tell you that somebody can, have a pool that looks clean, but it's very dirty. And chloramines is used up chlorine. So TCL tells how much that it's by adding up free chlorine and combined chlorine, it gives you total chlorine. And those test strips that you put in the water, the little dyes that you test in the water, those only tell you total chlorine. And free chlorine is really what's the most important, and also combined chlorine. So those two separately in this device will tell you that. Your pH, is it acidic or neutral? Your alkalinity, hardness, cyanuric acid, phosphates, all of these things are important because people will come back and say, why do I have algae in my pool? Why does it feel slimy? Why do my eyes stink? Well, I'm going to tell you, a laboratory is going to tell you a lot. And so I bring this laboratory with me on every inspection. So let's talk about a little bit more in depth on those results. So, for example, our main problem, chat will break this down for you and actually will tell you exactly what to do to fix it, which is really cool. So sanitizer, so I told the system it was a commercial spa, and then I later told it was about 1,200 gallons. And so it tells you that the spa should be 3 to 5. You're at 0.13. There's essentially no sanitation. It's very important to know that. What do you want to do? Well, shock it immediately. Shock is a high level of chlorine to basically bring this up, and then you want to maintain 3 to 5 parts per million in a commercial spa. Now, as your pH, your ideal range is 7.2 to 7.6. High pH reduces chlorine effectiveness and can cause scaling. So keep in mind that scaling, like, the plaster, the finishes are going to be wearing down at an accelerated rate. So they'll tell you to add muriatic acid, to bring the pH down. And so that's what's really cool, is artificial intelligence is now telling us how to treat these items. And so that's a lot of times people are asking us, and who knows how much. I don't think a robot's going to replace the home inspector anytime soon, but certainly I think it can decipher some of our results and help us do a better job. And that's what the customer is looking for from you. So alkalinity too high, ideal is 80 to 120. This is why your pH keeps going up and down. So alkalinity is very important that it's maintained. Keep in mind, water chemistry as a whole needs to be at proper levels, and that's for safety. That's so that you don't have the problems like the stinging eyes and the pH that's becoming acidic and stuff like that. So calcium hardness tells you add calcium chloride. Your alkalinity is way too high, that keeps your drifting. Your cyanuric acid, it should be often your target is 20 to 30, and they have 5, so it's too low. But they want to keep that. That also keeps the pH. Think of it as sunscreen for the chlorine. So good news is there's no metals, low phosphates, no combined chlorine, which is that dirty water. But you can start to go into the step-by-step fix, and this is where you can really add value to your inspections if you choose to use AI in your service. So anyways, important to know, bottom line, you're currently not safe for use. So my advice to this customer is to shut this spa down. This cannot be used until you bring it to safe levels. And you want to know kind of how much detail to do. You input, says chat will come back. You want me to tell you exactly what to do? Yeah, I do. Tell me. So you input how many gallons it is, and raised floor free chlorine, 2.5 ounces of dichlor or 4 ounces of liquid chlorine. So these are all important things that you can do. And so the chemistry is just one of these things can help you take your inspection technique to the next level. And why would you want to do that? Because I think you all want to make more money. And so that's what we're trying to help you do with pool and spa inspectors. And so let's go through a live demonstration. So this is another pool, an inspection that I did, relatively, clean, newer setup. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the chat window into this screen. And you should see that now. And I'm going to simply show you this process. So I'm going to take that same pool, I'm going to drag and drop that picture. And can you help me decipher the swimming pool water results. It's very simple. And look how fast this goes. It's analyzing the image. Yes, this is a good, complete test panel. I'll break it down if you'd like in the field and give you a clear action plan. So your test results, free chlorine 5.77, total chlorine and combined chlorine. Chlorine level is high but acceptable. We usually like to see below 4 on a public or on a private pool. But definitely, we don't want too much higher because that affects the chemistry. So let's look at pH balance. Right now, it's very high, and alkalinity is high. So water is too basic. High alkalinity is driving pH upward. This will reduce chlorine effectiveness. So that's why maybe they're putting more chlorine, because maybe they're not feeling like it's getting clean. And then it'll promote scale formation. So when you look at the outside tiles and you see mineral deposits, that can all be a reason why you're getting that. Also affect your plaster over time. So our acid is way too high. This is our biggest issue. It tells you 120 parts per million, chlorine is heavily suppressed. You'll need a much higher chlorine to be effective, which means the chlorine's not doing anything because we've got too much acid in there. So all of these things, they all need to be cohesive together. Hardness in metals, 402 parts per million, copper is 0.5, and iron 0. All right, so hardness is borderline scaling. Copper is a concern. It can stain the surfaces. Why are we getting stains in our pool? Well, maybe because you got too much copper. And then our phosphates, that's low. It's not a problem. You can ignore that for right now. So big picture diagnosis, and literally you can copy and paste this and put it into your inspection report. Cyanuric acid TI, pH and alkalinity high, calcium high, copper present. I'm going to tell you statistically in all the pools and spas that I do, I rarely have a pool that is done right. And I would honestly think that I've got a hit out on me from a lot of pool guys, because I get a lot of pool guys fired after they start seeing my results. So what should she do? Lower cyanic acid. The only real fix is drain and dilute the water. That means you got to bring the water level of the pool down and then bring it back with fresh water. This is also the case when you got high levels of salt. A lot of pools today are salt today. And this device will also test salt salinity in the water. And so when you got high salt, you got to drain it and bring back with water. And so they're saying literally half this pool needs to go down because you have too much acid in there. You got to lower the pH, lower the alkalinity, address the copper. So put in a metal sequestrant. Those are all things that you can do. And so this is really going to help you take your intelligence level and look that much better to your client. And so you can get an action plan, a pro insight. Now, if we tell it whether it's plaster, vinyl, fiberglass, salt, or traditional, a heater present, all of these things can give you a chemical dosing plan for your exact pool. So these are all great tools that are available to you now using AI. So I'm going to pull that back out, and basically the opportunity slide here is, should you guys decide that this is something that you want to bring into your business, we're going to give you a good preferred rate. You can save an additional $200 off our pool package. This includes all the training and the equipment necessary to add this service to your business. So like I said, do the math. Yeah, you spend a few $1,000s or several $1,000s, but that is what's called an investment. An investment response is something that should yield a return. And so I'm going to tell you, become a better inspector. If you're already doing pools, you can do them better. If you're not doing pools, you can add this service and offer it. I'm going to tell you, you're not going to be going in cheap. If you're in an area that doesn't have a lot of pools, guess what? Think of the marketing aspect. Agents will probably want to use you because you offer a service that no other inspectors offer, because there's not that many pools, but you do. So those are a big marketing aspect. So I hope that you take the opportunity on that, and going forward, you can scan that QR code. You can also go straight to our store at unitedinfrared.com/store. Now, of course, if you're viewing this video at a later time and it doesn't show as a deal, you can always give our office a call, 888-278-9361. We can walk you through any opportunities that we have on equipment. So really thank you for spending the time with us, this short period of time, to learn a little bit about pool and spa inspections and how you might be able to incorporate that into your business. So thank you very much, and give us a call.